So without further ado, I would welcome Cathaoirleach Ossian Smyth. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. On behalf of Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown County Council, we're very happy to be supporting this event. It's very unusual. It's of great interest to me. I want to thank Roger Cole for doing all this voluntary work and the other people who are supporting him. I see other people here like Councillor Shane O'Brien, and I see Tom Cook, who lives in the house, which Tom Cook's a dear friend of mine, and Tom lives in the house that Roger Casement grew up in until he was about 12, which is the main connection with this county and why we're taking a big interest in Roger Casement and always have. So obviously Roger Casement had packed a huge quantity into a very short life. He, at a time when it was difficult to travel, he was an explorer. He went to the Congo, he went to Brazil, which are exotic places now, but must have been like going to another planet at the time. He was a diplomat. He then subsequently, because of his strong morality, was a whistleblower. He was a human rights advocate. He produced great writing, which I guess would now be considered to be campaigning journalism that had an effect that changed the world. He then went on to be knighted by the king. He was received by the US president. He comes back and he's running guns into Howth, and he finally is martyred, which is and I'm sure there are all kinds of other details to his life, which presumably the experts in this room know all about. But it's the human rights aspect that we'll be talking about over the next few days, and that brings us all together here. So when we look at what happened in his lifetime in the Congo, in Brazil, and we look at the human rights abuses that he exposed, where do they come from? You know, we can see that they were something to do with imperialism, they were to do with corporate greed, with people who were wealthy and technologically advanced, exploiting people who are more vulnerable than them just for money, doing it at a long distance. And we can see nowadays, we know that his work had an effect, and that people were outraged by what was happening, and that in some cases some of these operations were closed down. But we also know, in truth, that 100 years later, that these kind of things still are going on around the world, that there still is evidence. If it's not colonialization, certainly it is exploitation of the weak, and certainly there is unlimited corporate greed, and there are people being worked to death, and there are things happening. And unfortunately, in those same countries that he went to, in the Congo nowadays, as we're told to supply the vital equipment for our mobile phones and electric cars and so on, that people are still being abused in the Congo today. And I guess if you were to continue on in the spirit of Roger Casement, the truth is that we should be courageous like him. We should write about what we see. We should observe astutely, and we should try and find within ourselves the courage to say when something is wrong. Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown, very proud of Roger Casement, and we have one of our very passionate and enthusiastic and capable county architects here tonight, who is going to be telling you about the statue that we're going to build to Roger Casement along the seafront. It's the first time I've seen it, so I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. Thank you very much to all the people who've travelled. I met a lady from Kuwait and a lady from Bethlehem. For people who've travelled so far to be here today, I think this is a very special day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.